gifts. Thank you for the greater in Jesus' name. Amen. 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 My people out there in listening and watching land, YouTube and Spotify, how y'all doing? So glad to have you here with us again. You are tuned into Living Single with Dr. G podcast. We call this Talk Therapy, where we talk with all of our various guests from different relationship statuses. Some of them are married, some of them are divorced, some are separated, some are single and searching, single and waiting, single and praying, some single and crying. It matters not where they are. All of them are asked the same 10 questions. They dive into them. We have a little discussion with it. And believe it or not, the responses are always different. And it's simply because everybody's experience is different. Life is different for everybody, right? And so I guarantee you, you're going to receive some tips and some tools. You're going to get some nuggets to help renew your mind and transform your life. This is a no judgment zone. Okay, so we want everybody to be transparent. We allow everybody to just be vulnerable, and share from their personal experiences, from their own perspective. And if you would like to be a guest and come and dive into these same 10 questions, we welcome you. We invite you. Just hit us up. Text us at 404-901-8591. Just simply type the words special guest, and we will contact you. If you want to contribute and donate, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of those who are supporters of this platform, helping us to actually accomplish the greater. But if you would like to share a donation of any amount, you can Zelle us or Cash App us at the same number, 404-901-8591. In the background is the one and only, you know who she is, Aspire. Yes, she's back there producing and making sure everything happens on this end. But right before you, we got a queen, and we are ready to dive in. I was about to say jump and dive, and it came with dump. We're ready to dive in and jump into these 10 questions and see what she has to share. Please introduce yourself, tell us your age and your relationship status.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kamisha Beach. I am 29 years old. I almost said 28. And I am single and loving it.
Oh, it's the first time I heard that, single and loving it. Sound like a t-shirt. What? Single and loving it. I'm liking that. Yep. I'm going to work on that one now. Can I get it? Can I get it? Single and loving it.
There, but we finally got there.
Yeah. How long have you been single since your last relationship?
About a year.
About a year? Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow.
So not that long, as opposed to some people in their walk with God. Maybe they've had a longer season, and who knows how long mine will be. But for me, and compared to who I once was, this is the longest I've ever been single since I first started dating. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So were you in a marriage or a committed relationship?
So I was married so we were married a total of 8 years, but we were together for 4 years and separated for 4 years. There was always a mess with getting a divorce because we were military. So it just took some time. But other than that, being married, I also have been in several relationships as well, dating wise.
Okay. Hey, so we're getting experiences and nuggets from you from so many different perspectives, as a military, as a soldier, from marriage and just from being single, Mm-hmm. It's going to be good. So I'm going to dive right on into it. Our first question for you, Misha. Mm-hmm. And first of all, let me let everybody know, Misha and I, we know each other from church. We work together in the kids ministry. Mm-hmm. And she is just phenomenal. She is so awesome with kids. They love her. She's so attentive. and she's not only attentive, but you are like you're hands on, and it's like whatever is needed to be done. And even if that's not your Sunday to serve, I seen you come in just like, hey, let me see what I can do before I go into service, or after service, let me see how I can. That's commitment.
That's the Lord working in me.
That's commitment, and so it is more of you that we need in the body of Christ who goes the extra mile, which the word of God tells us to. I see a need, I'm meeting that need, and if I don't see it, I'm coming to check, is there a need,
Yes,
and you just anticipate, that, hey, I know they're going to have to do this, so kudos to all that you do.
Oh, thank you, Miss G. It's a pleasure to work with you. Absolutely. I love working. It seems like the spirit you have serving with the kids is the same spirit you have on the show. So I love it.
It is. I do. I do this. The same G, right? The first question is red flags. What red flags would you tell anyone who is pursuing a relationship to never ignore?
So these are obviously all going to be, as a woman of God, this is my perspective as a woman of God.
Okay.
The first one, it's kind of, I don't know how exactly to explain it. The best way I could say is a fixed mindset. Say you're in a conversation with someone and you have different perspectives and they just believe their way is the way, and they can't even have a conversation about it, discuss how you can come to a middle ground or whatever. If someone's just fixed minded, that's an immediately red flag to me. Not being intentional. That is, I think, from my last relationship, that was something that God really showed me. Is it started out intentional, but after time went on, it kind of felt just like we were hanging out. There was no communication of like, how are we progressing? Where are we? How are we feeling? There was no like checking in. And so I think the casualness of dating is, if someone wants to be casual and not intentionally grow, that's a no for me. And lack of self-awareness too. I think pride comes in through that, of thinking you're good, like nothing's wrong with you. You don't have any growth to do. Everybody has growth to do, and not being able to recognize that that's not very healthy mentally to me. So I think for me, those are my three big ones: fixed mindset, no intentionality, and lack of self-awareness.
Okay. That's good. That's real good. Yeah. So do you feel that you have been a victim to, or that you have ignored red flags before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
I think in every relationship I've had, that's why I'm learning to be single and happy, because I didn't know my worth, I guess. So I would see the red flags, but I'd be like, oh, I can get over it. I can get over it, because I wanted to be in a relationship so bad. So that's, yeah, that was old me, always ignored red flags.
Wow. Thank you for saying that, because I think many of us have fallen into those same shoes. I wanted to be in a relationship so bad.
Yeah.
You think about holidays, you think about like Valentine's, you think about songs and movies and just things you want to do that you think you would enjoy better with a mate,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it makes you want to be in a relationship so bad, And like you said, you had to get to this place that you're loving being single as opposed to wanting to be in a relationship so bad.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What did it? What did it for you?
Learning my, sorry, dogs. Learning my worth was,
I guess they was giving their input as well. Okay.
They were helping me out. But learning my worth was what did it for me, was realizing really how much God loves me, and how much he and I had a season of him really showing me, putting a mirror up to me and showing me about myself. And he loves me so much, and I was not loving myself by allowing those relationships and just looking through those red flags, because I had no business being in those. But that desire to be in the relationship also came from not loving myself. I believed the only way to be loved by anyone was to be in a relationship. So learning self-worth through God's love was what did it for me.
Wow. Not loving myself enough would allow me to place myself in relationships that's not good for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's real. That's real. And many of us have done that, you know, and so it's important to what you said earlier, not to ignore the red flags. Not to ignore the Okay, let's go on to the next one. Deal breakers. How important do you think deal breakers are, and should they ever be negotiated?
It depends on the person's deal breakers, because I think a lot of people have deal breakers that they think are deal breakers, but aren't as foundational in a relationship as they think. Like, say, aesthetics. Like, I'm not going to make any like, what am I trying to say? I'm not ever going to make a deal breaker based on someone's physical attributes, because that person could be perfect for me, and there's like one thing that's off that I thought was a deal breaker. And if I had closed my mind off to that, I could be missing out on something. So I think if you have realistic deal breakers that are key to your values and what you know you deserve, then no, those deal breakers, they're very important, and they should not be allowed to be looked past.
Okay. I like that. And I guess you said not foundational, deep deal breakers. So you're talking about something like probably pet peeves.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
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 Don't mistake a pet
with
peeve for a
guys
deal
who
breaker.
had pet peeves, and I itched one of their pet peeves, and they couldn't look past it. And I'm like, oh, sorry, that's who I am. I could be great for you. You love everything else, but this one pet peeve you can't get past. And that's fine. That's their choice. But
Right. Yeah. You just said sorry. Yeah. We have to be careful of understanding the difference between a pet peeve and a deal breaker, you know, that cuts off saying, hey, you know, heck no, you know, I'm not going that way at all, as opposed to something that could be compromised or worked out.
And also, I think most pet peeves, there's a root to that. There's a reason why it bothers you. Maybe you should figure out why that pet peeve bothers you. Just about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, yeah, because I mean, if you love cleanliness and your pet peeve is somebody, dude, I just cleaned this up. Somebody put this out again, you know, because living single and living with somebody, that's a whole different, different dynamics. Yeah. So you begin to see some things, and but even the pet peeves, going back to communication, even the pet peeves got to be talked about, just like the deal breakers got to be talked about. And if you're with somebody, I believe if you're with somebody who care enough about you, value you, as you used the word value earlier, in a relationship, they would work on those things. Y'all try to come to meet some kind of common ground. Yeah. Okay, good. So they had a pet peeve with you, and it was like, hey, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, I was like, it was chewing sounds, and I don't chew with my mouth open, but say like I was on the phone with someone, I'm eating. I'm sorry, I can't help those noises. So like, I mean, I could stop eating, but if I got to do that my whole life, that's not something I feel like changing. So
they didn't like the smacking sound, even though your mouth was opening and closing.
Yeah, like sometimes it just happens, and
right.
But I feel like there's a root to why that bothers you. So like, dig in a little bit, dig in deep, figure out.
Come on now. Dig in deep. Did grandma used to whip you every time you smack? What is it really? Yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, hey, you just never know.
No.
What do you think makes it hard being single out here in these streets, in this culture?
As
What makes it?
As a woman of God trying to date in these streets.
Come on, woman of God.
The biggest difficulty is the sexual purity for me. I am committed to not having sex until my wedding day. And that I need someone who's more honest. To be completely vulnerable and honest, I had a promiscuous past. So I need someone who's more convicted in that, who can, who's not going to try to tempt me, who's not going to like try to push boundaries, because I don't know, I'm not that strong yet in that conviction. I might be tempted really easily. So I need someone who's already settled on that. Not like, oh yeah, I think I could do that. I would do that for you. For me, it's hard to find someone who is, even in Christian communities, even in like when I was on the dating apps, the people who would say Christian, and then I would say that part, when we would get to that conversation, they'd be like, oh, okay, well, deuces. I'm like,
wait a minute, can we be Christians with benefits?
I know. I mean, no one's perfect. Not everyone.
Oh my gosh, I could do a whole show on Christians with benefits. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that, and also on that aspect of the sexuality, I think this sexual revolution has caused so many people, like the hookups and the casual dating and stuff. I think psychologically that has trained people to bond and unbond within it. Oh, gotcha. It's psychologically proven that you are bonding with that person when you do that. And so when you match or you bond with someone, and then you're training your brain to be used to that. So what does that do after some time? People are not used to being in committed relationships. So what we see today is people, after a couple months, they're just ready mentally to move on to the next option. And that was my other point I was going to make, is too many options. So we're just, no one's ready to commit. No one's able to commit because we've fried our brains for bonding, and there's so many options. It's just so easy to jump onto the next person. So no one wants to commit.
Wow. You know, that
was a long one.
No, I love it. I love it. And what I'm saying is that there are a lot of differences that you all share on here, right? On the different episodes. But that's a common statement that's made often, that there are too many options.
Yeah.
There's so many options. And then someone said, like, easy access, to anything and everything.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not even just like easy access to another physical partner. It's easy access to pornography. It's easy access to Instagram models. Like that's not, if you're indulging in that stuff too, that you're not committing to the person you're with. And people don't see it that way, because there's just such an open mindset of like, I'm not actually cheating. It's a lot of corruption in that. Dating.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we have pornography. It's gone from the videos to, I guess, OnlyFans. That's a whole nother subject.
I honestly, I haven't been on the site, but I've been tempted to go on and just preach the gospel. Tell people I got an OnlyFans. But no, it is.
I love that. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Having a roll. Come on in, y'all.
All right. Prop out the Bible. Let's get in this.
Yeah.
But no, realistically, it is not good, because that is more, rather than, I mean, it's all obviously pornography, but the difference between OnlyFans and porn is it's an actual person like interacting, I guess, with its audience, and rather than a studio. And I think there's something about that makes it more intriguing, I guess. I don't know, but
wow,
it's a fight out here to be a pure woman in this world.
Wow. You know, that's good. It's good to hear you say that from that perspective, you know, trying to not a woman out here trying to be pure, you know, and you probably don't feel like I know you say you got a lot of options, meaning different sectors or whatever, but maybe not even a lot of options of the kind of man that you need.
Yes.
You know?
Not a lot of options for me, but plenty for them. If I don't meet what they need, which is meeting their sexual needs, they're like, oh, I can easily go find someone who will. So I can understand from their point of view why I wouldn't be someone that they're looking for. But that's just, it's the name of the game right now, I guess.
So have that been disappointing for you? Have you been with someone and you was feeling them, you thought you was feeling each other, and then you got to that point and they broke it off and you didn't want to break it off?
No, because I haven't allowed it to get that far with anyone. That's pretty quickly within a couple of days of meeting a potential. I don't even have to ask that directly. That like, are you willing to wait? It's pretty easy to tell by someone's actions, but even I have gotten in the conversation about that, and within a couple of days, I always try to gauge that. And if it seems like they are not convicted of that, then I don't even pursue further, because I'm not wasting. I'm not going to waste my time. Or theirs.
Yeah. And so you wouldn't try to a guy that you like, you wouldn't try to convince him or persuade him to wait with you.
Mm-mm. No, unless we were talking, unless it was like someone who was a friend, and I have gotten to know this person pretty well without the romance part of it, and then it turned into something romantic, and they seem genuine about it. But if I'm meeting the person and immediately going into pursuing a relationship, if they're not convicted of that, I'm not gonna even risk the chance of them trying to tempt me into it, because that's what happened in my last relationship, and it went downhill after that.
Yeah. No repeat offender here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what you call learning from your own lessons, learning from experiences, and also creating more intentional boundaries or deal breakers, you know, as you move forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And that's the purpose of this platform, is to help people do that. They may have one mind frame watching, you know, and then after having listened and learned and watched from someone else's experience, they say, you know what, you know, I was thinking about that, or this, let me try this way, you know, renewing somebody's mind and giving them wisdom from your experience.
Yeah. Because no one knows everything. No one is perfect, but having different perspectives, and it's key to this scene, the dating scene.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happens here. We're able to get different perspectives and keys, because it's not but so much, you know, in your little relationships or your little corner that you're in. Yeah. Settling. What does it mean to you to settle? When someone say, I feel like I settle, or I'm not going to settle.
Yep. We actually already kind of touched on it. I think the core of settling is not having self-love. I think if you're settling, you're more lusting after the idea of a relationship rather than loving yourself and loving that person. Because if you're settling knowing that person is not meeting your needs, then you're not honoring yourself or that person, because it's not going to be a healthy relationship if you're not getting what you need out of it. So I think dropping your non-negotiables that's what settling is. And I don't think anyone should do that. Love yourself. Know what you deserve, and don't budge from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like
Mhm.
that. Know what you deserve and don't budge from it. Oh, man, let me write this down. Know what you deserve and don't budge from it.
Mhm. Think of it
That,
as you are a daughter of God. Imagine when he sees you settling for someone treating you not the way that you deserve to be treated. That's breaking his heart. And I don't want to do anything that breaks his heart. So, yeah.
knowing what you deserve and not budge you from it. I love it. That's like one of the best responses I've heard that I love regarding settling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And to do the opposite of that is settling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, 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 wow. Good, 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 good. Love it. All right, okay. Moving on, moving on. What qualities would you tell someone to make sure they look for in a potential mate?
The self-awareness, that is a big one.
That's-
If you're with someone who thinks they're perfect, run for the hills because you're not going to be able to tell them nothing.
Wow.
Because they need to be able to grow with you.
Right,
Like
right.
it's both of you growing together, and if you're the only one growing, it's just not going to be good.
Yeah.
I would say knowing your values, that's a good one. If their values don't quite meet yours, say even if it's like religious aspects, politics, any how a man leads, how the woman helps, just all the how the children, how the family will be. If those don't meet, you need to find someone who is in line with your values. Um, I think can't
I
really
like
think of any others right now.
I like
Yeah,
that. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because we find qualities in a lot of superficial things sometimes. We
mm,
call that qualities.
yeah,
And we don't even think about our core values because at the end of the day, who we are, the essence of who we are goes back to our core values. And so when you take off the Gucci and everything, and when you know, come in the home and all you got all the glamour of everything,
hmm,
um, and now you got to deal with life. You got to deal with issues. You got
yep,
to deal with needing some kind of consideration, some kind of understanding.
yeah.
And Gucci can't do that for you.
Nope.
No.
No, or we like the same music, or we both like hiking. Like those aren't gonna hold that relationship together.
No.
It's great. It's great to have similarities like that, but
Right.
it has to go deeper than that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are like little bonuses and stuff. That's like you get ice cream. Ice cream is good by itself. I might get something on top or not, but I just need the ice cream to be real ice cream.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely.
and everything. Those little things, the little drizzles on top and everything. Yeah. Well, he like Luther too. I like Luther. Yeah, we like Luther. Our favorite song is "A House Is Not a Home."
Oh, it's meant to be. No,
Yes, it must be meant to be. Oh my God, you like that one too?
there's a reason it's called Familiar Spirits. I'm not gonna get too
Yeah.
deep in that, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on now, come on now. I'm loving that. Right. Make sure you pay attention to make sure that what you call qualities are linked to synced in with your core values.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. Now, speaking about the woman and the man,
Hmm.
the Bible says, and you being a woman of God, the Bible says that a woman is a helpmate.
Hmm.
Well, what does that look like to you, especially in today's society? Do you even see it?
Um, to answer that part first, I think there's an increase in it in the Christian realm because of social media. Actually, I think more people are talking about relationships and how to have them in a healthy way. Um, so I feel like there's an increase of it right now. We're in maybe in the beginning boom of healthier relationships, but all in all, no. I think women are more about just being the bad bee. Like, I don't need a man, and no man leads me. And it's this mentality of if you're being led by a man, then you're lesser than. And that's not the case at all. I think being submissive has been, the word submission is such a like cuss word in today's society, when really submission is more about honoring your husband and thinking about him and all of your decisions and how it would affect him, because you're doing life together. So it's not just about, oh, I'm going to rub his shoulders when he gets off work and have food ready. It's about, if you have kids, like the daughter asks for something, and like, make sure that the father's okay with it. Like, you're a partnership, and you're honoring that partnership. It's not just about just being led. Yes, he is the headship. Ultimately, he needs to be leading the house, but it's not just being a servant. I think that's what people think of when they hear submission.
Right.
But yeah, just also, I think a big part of it is being a safe space for the man to be vulnerable, because there's such a lack of men being able to be vulnerable. And he needs to be able to talk to his woman about the things that are going on without feeling like he's going to get made fun of or shamed for it. Like, she's the helpmate. She needs to be there for him in all ways, all aspects.
Wow. I love it. Mm-hmm. You know, we had a first lady on here, pastor's wife, Quincy and Erica Barnwell. Y'all make sure and check out the episode. Mm-hmm. She also made mention that submission was the curse word. I'm like, what? To hear, and I'm hearing a females say that's how they hear females look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this, I'm gonna, not to point fingers at anything, but I think the feminist movement, while it started off well, I think what it's become today is just toxic and poison for our society. Women don't want to accept the fact that we need men. Men are powerful. There are some good men out there, and they are vital to our society. And having a well-balanced home is so important for the continued growth of society. So
yeah. Society, our families, our community, the church, and everything, you know. But not only, I really believe not only is there a need for men, I think that when women themselves step out of the independent woman and the boss lady shoes, she would simply say, I want a man. Mm-hmm. You know, I want a good man. I want a man, you know, not being persuaded by or corrupt by all these other probably females who are, you know, being pretentious too, you know, and here all of you really want something, but it's like it's a defensive mechanism that you put on, right? Instead of just saying, yeah, I want a man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know? And this is coming from, I like maybe a year and a half ago, I was so set on not getting married again. I was like, that's dumb. Why do I need to do that? I'll just date someone. I don't need to be fully in with anyone. And now I'm like, no, like, I deserve that full commitment, and he deserves that full commitment. And there's so much power in being a wife. There's so much power in being a mom, and having that societal, I don't know, eye roll at, like, people roll their eyes at women when they say, no, I want to be a wife. I want to be a mom. I would, like, there's so much power in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There is definitely, everybody are not fit or mature enough to be a mother or a wife. Yeah, not fit. Yeah. Every woman is not mature enough. I'm gonna leave it right there. Mature enough to be a woman, or mature enough to be a wife.
Yeah, absolutely. I blame society for that. I blame culture for that.
Wow, yeah. And we have to be careful about conforming to this world.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to understand who we are, especially in Christ, especially when there's a lot of believers, but just in general, people need to know, stop letting culture, just like the latest fad or trend, stop letting that tell you what you gotta have or how it's supposed to be for you.
Yep.
Going back to you said, be self-aware enough to know, wait a minute, because there's some like name brands, right? I saw them. I was never a name brand person. I could see it. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like the way it looks, And so I'm not gonna wear it just because they say no, but it's the name brand, it's the trend. Mm-hmm. When I ran across name brand was when I was in Goodwill, over there on the north side, that Goodwill over there, at Goodwill in Buckhead and by Perimeter Mall. The people live in that area, they go put this stuff there.
Yeah.
Some of it wasn't even worn, barely worn. Was in the cleaners.
I've worn name brand. I've gotten stuff at like Ross and TJ Maxx and Goodwill. I've worn name brand stuff, not knowing what it was.
I'm trying to get there. I'm taking longer than you are, though. I'm trying to get there. I got these items, right? And I just got it because I liked it. I said, that's me. And then I look, I said, what? Michael Cole? What? Is he black man or white man? What is he? I heard that name before. I know it's a name brand. And so that's how we have to do with. We have to not conform to something because it's a name brand. Is what culture is saying is a trend. But does that look good for you? Is that good for you?
Yes.
Is that what you're wanting? Are you even attracted to that?
Does it
are you
glorify God? That's a big thing. Like,
listen, that's the first thing. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. So, and even a relationship that cannot glorify God, if together we can't glorify God. We're talking about being a power couple, but come on, I like to call kingdom power couples.
Yes,
where and so if we can't do that together, I don't see, because I'm glad you said that, because I know men and women who were married and they could not be a kingdom power couple. One was just attending church, one was, more in the Lord, and growing in the Lord, going to conferences and book, whatever, one, or you can just go to conferences and stuff, and like, you can leave that stuff at the conference. You can read a book and everything if there's no application. And so how can we come together and glorify God?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because, and I say to anyone, any believer and anyone who don't understand, that when you seek God first in your relationships, be it a mate or any kind of relationship, friendships, etc., if you're seeking God first, all those other things, they will be added. Yes. Your relationship, that bond, will be blessed and covered, Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Amen. So glad you shared it. Yeah. Okay. Now we talked about the woman and a little bit about the man. A man is known as, and as actually, I'm getting ready to change those two questions as we're continuing to evolve. And I'm not going to throw them to you tonight. But the questions are going to be, what traits are you looking for? Do you look for in a good woman? And traits you look for in a good man, right? Mm-hmm. And just to see if these things still, because I know we're going to still conversate about those things, but to touch base from the traits. What are people really looking for, and should they looking for? But speaking about a man, mm-hmm. we hear that a man is known as a provider and a protector. Mm-hmm. Do you see that? And what does that mean to you for a man to provide and protect?
So to answer the first part, do I see it? I don't think I have enough experience in, like, I think I just started going to church. My first time going to church in 13 years was this time last year. And I have seen some.
Glory be to God. Glory be to God.
Amen.
Glory be to God.
Yeah.
What? You landed and got to rolling. What?
Oh, yeah.
You would not have known that. You would not have known that. Come on. Awesome.
But I'm still learning how to pick out godly men, like truly godly men in a group of people. But I do know on paper what he should look like. Like I think what most women need is ultimate security, but security in like emotional security, being able to just be a woman, because femininity, at least in my experience, I was always kind of mocked for my femininity, my emotions, the things that I care about. I was kind of shunned for those things. So a man who just lets a woman be the woman, and who allows her to feel secure in that, who is protective, who makes her feel like he truly cares about what happens to her, and that he's always going to be there to be in defense of her, not even just physically, but like if someone's talking about her, he's going to stand up for her. He's going to stand up for his woman. And financially, obviously, I don't think it's necessarily upon meeting. It's vital for the man to be like rolling in money. I don't think that is what that means. I think understanding how to be financially responsible and steward what God gave you, I think those are things that women really need in a man to lead the house, for sure.
That was so mature. I'm telling you, I love it. You know, to be financially responsible, not about having this dollar amount now, but if you're financially mature and responsible, that means you can be trusted with more, and your mind is already prepared to gain more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you got to have the mind first before the money. You can have the money, don't have the mind. It's almost like you ain't even got the money.
Yes, I know. For me personally, I am, the season I'm in right now, God is working on me in my financial responsibility, because I in the past was dumb with money, and so I need someone who, even if they have made mistakes, who is on the path to repair or on the path to building and being self-aware in their weaknesses in finances. So.
And I'm glad you said that, because I want to throw this nugget out to anyone out there, is that I know we're going ahead as far as self-awareness. We've hit on that a couple of times. All these questions are pretty much threaded in, because like they are in a relationship. When you become self-aware and in a relationship, when you both are aware of what is not your strength, or what is a weakness, or what you need help on or work on, it's like, now, hey, we're going to go together to this financial class, this wealth retreat. We're going to go to something, because we're building on what we already have established, right? And so it's okay to be at this place. It's not okay not to want to change it for the better.
See, and that takes humility too. That is another. If you were to ask me the traits I need to see in a man, humility is a big one, because if a man's not humble, he's not going to want to acknowledge that he needs help in his finances.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. I was gonna do this. I said, no, I'm not gonna do this. 3 H's. You already said one. 3 H's that you would want it in a man, that you would look for in a man. 3 H's.
So humble, honoring. I'll put a G in front of that. God honoring, but honoring in general, like caring about honoring people, and honest.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want no liars.
Yeah. I thought you was gonna say humorous in there somewhere.
Humorous,
but
I've been okay. That was my type before. Every man I've dated has been funny, and now I'm like, it ain't that important. I mean,
no, don't say that. You need to laugh.
I'm easy to make laugh, but if it's always what he's going for, is always making jokes, I'm like, I don't need that. Can we be serious for a little bit?
Oh my God.
But yes, being able to make light of situations and bring some joy in some dark moments, absolutely, that's important.
I love that. I love the character. the woman trying to talk to him, can we be serious for a minute? He just laughing, no taking that serious.
Well, so I was in the military, and the types of guys I dated were the tough guys and the sarcastic guys. And so I think the humor part, maybe I'm just tired of it. I don't know.
Right. Wow. So they were laughing about everything, found everything humorous.
Yeah, like I wanted to have a serious conversation, and they just went into defense mode and made a joke instead. I'm like, can we actually talk about this instead of making jokes?
Yeah, and that would turn you off from that. I got you. Yeah.
But I see what type of humor you're talking about. Just being lighthearted and playful. That is definitely attractive.
Yeah. But I'm glad that you explained it to that point, because there are some people. I'm not going to say guys, but some guys who everything just so nonchalant, carefree, laughing about everything. We need to get serious about this, and just find everything funny. Well, I'm thinking about a particular person right now, laugh about every little thing, and I'm like, really, you thought that was funny, And yeah. And so it's a line there, but I do know
it's a real characteristic.
I do know I've heard women say they like a man who can make them smile, can make them laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess I'm easy to make smile. I don't.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
You are though. You are. Yeah. I've been able to see that just working with you, working around you and everything. That you're not complex like that, and easy conversationalist as well,
I don't take life too seriously.
Yeah. It's where does that come from?
That's a good question, Mr. G.
That's why
I think I'm just not dang, that's a deep one. You asking me about deep stuff now. Where does that come from? I think my family, we're very lighthearted. No. Oh, dang, what's that word? We're not high maintenance. We're not a high maintenance family. We're very easygoing.
Okay.
And I always spent a lot of time alone in my childhood. And so I think I'm just easily entertained, and I can see positives in things. I think the seeing positives things, that is God. Because I didn't always do that. The easily entertained part is from my childhood, but seeing positives in most situations is that's a God-given gift for sure. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's a good trait to also have, because some people are so high maintenance, some women are so high maintenance, and it's so hard to please some people. And guys, man, it's like they stress themselves many times trying to help her compete with another one, because that's what it is. What she's wanting from him is sometimes not anything that locks down or assures his love for her, but that enables her to compete. Because she gets her value out of I'm having exactly what they got, or that same Joneses thing.
Nope.
So for the men,
what other people have.
Yeah. And that's it's good to be that way. So guys have never had that problem with you.
No, I think emotionally, sometimes I can be. I'm a very deep person emotionally. I think deeply, so I can be emotionally high maintenance, I guess you could say. So in that aspect, I would need someone patient to want to listen to my emotions. That's why I was saying, in a godly man leading the house, I think he needs to embrace or let a woman embrace her femininity, and my emotions is definitely part of my femininity. But in terms of material items and places to go, like I'm always able to just be content in any situation. So
okay. A nice outing could be a camp out and light a fire.
That's what I prefer. I love camping.
Military.
Camping,
Okay.
hiking, swimming. Yeah, you could take me to McDonald's. I don't care. Just,
Yeah. 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 No, that's real good because I believe if you can enjoy the simple pleasures, then you can really be happy. I really believe that yeah, I really believe happiness then is within you and not within what you're doing when you can find people who can really enjoy just the simple pleasures.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it means that yeah, that it's a fragrance that you already have, and you're just bringing it well where you are, And those kind of people I love to be around too,
Mm.
and qualities that we have for relationships are the same quality for any kind of relationship. Your friends, your family, whatever. Nobody wants to be around nobody who's high maintenance. Um, and all of us, I guess, can be bougie to some degree. I got my bougie ways, and it's okay to be bougie sometimes, whatever,
I'm bougie with
But
food.
yeah.
When it comes to cooking and food, I can get bougie.
You can get bougie then. So you're a foodie.
Yes.
Okay. But you said McDonald's though.
I didn't say I won't accept anything else. Like, you don't need to take me to fancy places. I just really enjoy them.
Right. Okay. Come on now. Okay. I got you. Yeah. I believe in enjoying it. I don't really go to McDonald's, but I believe in enjoying it all. There was this Venezuela restaurant that came on the Atlanta East thing. That was rating it and everything, and I was taking note because I'm like, okay, I've never had that dish before. Let me go over there. So I do like to experiment, from that aspect, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So once again, it's good to share those things and know those things about each other when you're dating with somebody,
Yeah.
when you're trying to establish where we're going to go from here, because those things can become a problem, especially if I've seen people arguing about what we're going to eat today. I don't know what you want to eat. I mean, I thought we were going to go to that. I mean, you choose. Well, tell me what you want. I'm like, wait a minute, can we just?
See, I have people pleasing tendencies, which God is working on me in, because it's not a trait to have. But I'm the type of person, wherever you want, literally, just say a place, we'll go. I'm not.
Okay, yeah. You can have whatever you like. McDonald's, Burger King, Red Lobster. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
But and that's good. And I think it's also, let me throw this nugget for some people. I think it's good to have like a list already, like in your notes or whatever. So, and that you probably could have already shared with the person that you're dating, so they know that you like these places. Of course, you may not feel like that on that particular day, but at least they have an idea already of what you like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
These are restaurants I like. I've been to the ones with a star beside it, ones I hadn't been to yet, but I want to check out. Just letting you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's called intentionality. Just the little things. It's the little things.
Yeah. And being intentional, you're being intentional about having a good relationship. That's a relationship goal, right?
Yeah.
That's just one goal right there, to just make sure you have a good relationship.
Yeah, I've heard so many testimonies of people who I was just listening to Jackie Hill Perry and her husband in podcast before this, and they were telling stories at the beginning of their relationship, and it wasn't perfect. It's like relationships are not going to be perfect in the beginning. It takes time to figure each other out, to grow, to figure out how to work out the kinks and compromise, and it's not immediately. And that's another, like, I'm self-aware. I have been a flight risk in the past. When things get rough, I don't know, I'm still going through the process of figuring out the root of this, but when things get rough, I tended to be like, instead of talking about it and going through like, this is why I'm like this, or this is why I'm frustrated, can we figure out how to talk about this and come to a understanding of like how we deal with these situations in the future? Instead of doing that, I just would be like, I don't think this is going to work out. So I think a lot of people do that, and I don't think there is a awareness that relationships take work. They take a lot of work.
Relationships take work.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship takes work. That's it. Now the part I want to go back to something that you said earlier, because men are known as being logical, women are known as being emotional. The misunderstanding there is that no men are emotional. No men have emotions too, emotions and emotions.
Yeah.
All right. And there's some women who do think logical, but for the sake of the old saying, men, so if you are in a place of being very emotional, you say you are emotionally high maintenance. What does that look like? Because I know the viewers, the audience, they want to know. Okay, what, Dr. G, ask something about that. What is that? What does that look like, being emotionally high maintenance?
So I'm always in here, whether I actually don't vocalize it a lot. I'm usually processing things silently and alone. But I know that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I know, like, if someone says something that maybe hurt me a little bit, I withdraw and I process. And and I can, even if I'm not mad, that can be perceived as mad. And so the person that I'm with, I have the self-awareness, and I need to be able to say, hey, I need to process this. I'm not mad. I just need to figure out why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. But that person is going to have patience with me and being like, okay, do you need me to do anything? If so, like, what can I do? Or do you just need space? Like, I can have my waves of, dang it, I don't go by the Enneagram anymore, but I'll just write it as I'm a creative. And I think a lot of creatives are deep emotional people. And like, not emotional in a verbal or actual, like, visible way.
Okay.
I'll say it like, I was married for 4 years, or like we were together for 4 years. I raised my voice 4 times. Like, I'm not I don't yell. I don't like lash out, but I can shut down. And in that way, I'm very emotional.
Right.
So it's emotionally processing a lot of the time.
Yeah. You explain that real good, and then you went as far as creative. I'm pretty much the same way, and I'm like really tapping into not only just myself, but tapping into God, really trying to hear from God, like we was talking earlier. Yes. Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God. So my whole being is to process and go straight back to my Father.
Yes.
Run back to God. Yeah.
It used to be like that for me. My processing used to be very self-centered, I realized recently.
Right.
It was very like, that person did this to me, and I'm feeling this way. Now I'm withdrawing and saying, I felt this reaction inside of me. God, help me figure out why I felt this way, so I can go back to that person in honor instead of speaking out of my flesh, so that I can address these feelings, know why I reacted that way, and have an actual loving conversation with that person.
Right. Yeah. That's good. That's real good. And like I said, that's relationships across the board. I continue to tell y'all here that all of these tools and nuggets, all of these really connect to a person's character and their value. So these are not just things just for a mate relationship, because if you can't get to this place in your singleness and exhibit this with people in general, right? You're not going to be able to directly give it to one individual who you're going to have your ups and downs with. You're going to go through this needs to be who you are, what you do, right? And not just do it over here with Jane, over here with Jim, but I'm this way. This is where I think. This is where I am. Just the content of my character.
That's amazing. That's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're throwing out nuggets. I'll throw out a nugget about maybe thinking about the people in your life. Not everyone is going to be like just clash, or not everyone is going to mess with you really well. you're going to experience people in your life who they're going to have rough edges that don't work with you. Maybe God's putting them in your life for you to get used to character traits that you don't maybe mesh with very well. And like for me, for instance, I just went through a friendship situation where I started thinking, I don't really like how this person is behaving. And I had one choice was to just cut them out of my life and burn that bridge, or just say, hey, I need to communicate this. This is something that's bothering me. I value our friendship and I love you as a human being. Can we figure out how to get past this? Can we talk about it? And that was very hard for me to do. I realized because it took humility in recognizing my faults too. I had faults in the situation and of why they did the thing that irritated me. I had my own faults. So there was humility in it and being able to say, no, it's not all you. I had fault in it as well. Can we both talk about this? And so there's just a lot of stuff that God may be working in you in your single season that will benefit you in your marriage.
Wow, I like that. I like that. And as I was listening to you, and I'm dealing with a similar situation. So you was just ministering to me, dropping something on me just now, as related to it, and has to do with her, like a friend or whatever, And I've been like, okay, trying to hear from God. What I've done, as you said, I do that as far as pull back, processing, analyzing, trying to, I'm checking my values and everything, and just, okay, where it's going to go? Is this going to continue? I have to be able to see more than value, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think value is important, right? But sometimes that value thing, we'll see how we benefit from them in our life, as opposed to how our life benefits from having them in our life.
Yeah, that's good.
So sometimes the thing we like, oh, they happen with this, or they do that or whatever. And so these are the things we say, well, these are, how I value them in my life, but they don't necessarily the core of us, our joy, our peace. So, if you're constantly frustrated and everything, who cares if somebody buying you all of this, everything like that, right? And doing all this for you, if they're making you feel miserable, or if you're constantly frustrated or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, there may be like when you're talking about the benefits of having them in your life. Sometimes I realize there may not be, and maybe God put you in their life for a reason, for you to benefit them. There doesn't always need to be a benefit for you.
Yeah.
I mean, because isn't that what He does? I mean, He doesn't need us, but He loves us, and He's in friendship with us, and we're always needing from Him, but He doesn't need us. So
yeah. And I see that with many. I always look for that in all of my relationships, my wherever I'm connected to, a job, a church, a person, or whatever. What do I do there? What is the benefit that I'm bringing? Right? Why is this even in existence, God? All these people in places, me in this and me in this place, So what are you doing, and what is my assignment? And I think even in going back to our singleness and relationship, that we should always try to figure out what is my assignment to a person that I'm connected to. See it as an assignment, and the Bible tells us to work as unto the Lord. So I'm going to see you as a joy, as a mate. I will see you as my lover, my friend, or whatever. But I gotta see you as an assignment. I'm assigned to you, like you are assigned. I guess, bro. Okay, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, and so I think when we go into relationships, just like we do on our job and other places or whatever, we should not only see the person as a mate, lover, friend. All these things are so important, but we should also see them as an assignment. I'm assigned to you. I think because for some reason we tend to take assignments a little differently than we do some relationships. And if we can, and even with business, like if we can see this person as my business partner, my partner, the way people work with their business partner, or the way people work and function, if they know this is my assignment. I see you as my assignment, and I'm not going to stop until my assignment is fulfilled.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
I think some people get, I feel, obviously I don't know this, but I feel like some people get involved in relationships when that person wasn't really assigned to you to be your partner. Really, they were just going to be either a business partner or a friend, but you rushed into it and you assumed, because there was a connection, that it was supposed to be a relationship. Speaking from experience.
No. Right. Something more. And see, that business partnership, even if it was supposed to just be there, that went real well. Now, that same mold needs to be in a relationship that was meant to be, not a relationship that was just supposed to remain a business partner. So I'm saying, just like some people, they're just supposed to be your friends and your buddy. They're not supposed to be anything else.
Yeah.
And so where can you understand and disciple except staying in God?
Yes.
Walking in God. Yeah, deep in prayer and meditation, because even then it's kind of challenging. Lord, give me the discernment spirit, because I got to play. I said, Lord, I don't want to pick no more. I don't feel like I know how to pick. I'm waiting on you. You do. I need to wake up like Adam did and say, oh, okay, you the one. What? No, I don't know. I don't need to wake up like, okay. But anyway, it's like you get to a place because you want to please God and you want a healthy relationship. You want to be happy. So you're like, well, I'm looking at my own track record and I don't feel like I made the best choices. Right. And so, somebody single right now may feel like that, may feel like I did not make the right choices. And if we keep it eye focused, then we're not going to blame them. Yeah, but they was doing this and they was doing that. No. So, but I, somewhere in there, in that equation, I said, okay, I made whatever. So I made some wrong choices. And so, Lord, I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on the Lord, and be of good courage. I'm watching, I'm looking, I'm observing. But how are you with that? I know you say you're single and loving it, but
yeah, I raised my hand. I had to do, when you said, I feel like someone feels that way, that's me. Because I did some, obviously I went through that season of like, I even went through my man hating season where I was like, they're all this, none of them are, there ain't no good men. Yeah, I went through that phase. And then I had my moment of being like, you know what? What's the common denominator? Me. So let's look inward and figure out what things I did wrong and what patterns and habits. I went through about this time, like December last year, I went through a big season of figuring out my patterns and my habits and what I cannot continue to do. Now that I'm there, that I think that's why I'm enjoying my singleness, is because I feel like when the Lord sends him to me, I will be prepared in my self-awareness, and I will be more equipped because of how close I've been with God in this time. Paul says that singleness is a blessing. And I have found that because I've gotten closer to God. And I believe that when he does plop the man right in front of me, I will know, because I've spent this time. I've spent this time being, of course I desire. I actually went through a season of like praying for the desire to go away. But now, like in the last couple of weeks, I was like, no, I need to stop praying for that, because it is good for man. It's not good for man to be alone. It is good for us to be one with a partner. And that's not a bad desire to have. It's just having the patience and trusting God to send him when I'm ready and when he's ready. So that's why I enjoy it, because I'm like, if I was supposed to be in a relationship right now, I would be. I just trust in his timing. So
yeah. I'm enjoying it too. I'm enjoying the blessing of it. I'm enjoying being patient.
mm,
I'm enjoying observing from a different eye, from different lenses now. You
yeah.
know, and the more you become self-aware, and you get to a place. And the thing you said, we are the common thread with the different relationships or whatever. And the thing with that, though, that dropped on me is that God gave us choice.
Mm,
You know, even choose ye this day whom ye will serve. So aside from who you're going to serve, choose ye this day who you going to, what are you going to engage in your life? I've given you choice,
mm-hmm,
right? And
mm-hmm,
so this is what you're choosing, and knowing yourself, right, is self-aware. Knowing yourself now, I know myself. I gotta love myself enough to make sure and choose for myself. If we treat ourselves in relationships like we would treat our pets and our babies,
yeah.
we're not letting anybody babysit them. We're
Mm-hmm,
not letting in. We're not. No, they ain't putting on that. No, they can't eat that right now. That's gonna make them choke. you know and so
yep.
if we love ourselves enough
Mm,
like that, to make sure and only engage in our life what what's going to benefit us, that's healthy for us,
mm,
then I think we're in a better place, right? uh,
yep.
uh we definitely in a better place for someone else. But until you can do that with yourself and for yourself, you're not good for nobody else.
Mm,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not.
If you have like, that is another requirement. I feel like most people should have, is like, don't get with someone unless they've done their soul work, unless they've healed from things that, maybe not even things that they didn't know they needed to heal from, because we're always going to be healing. We're all broken, and it's a continuous growth towards God's healing. But someone who is aware of the growth that they need to make, like if they haven't done some type of soul work and figuring out who they are, it's not, they're going to be trying to find their happiness in you, and
Yeah,
you can't look for happiness in a relationship. You need to have that in yourself and with God, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. This is a potluck, and that needs to be what you bring into the table. You
Yeah.
are assigned to bring that to the table. Bring your own happiness to the
Yes.
table. Yeah, we need to have this table over. It said run is over. Come on, right? We need to be
Amen.
running. Oh, we don't need to be depleted. We don't even have this on the table. Why, yeah. Well, you didn't bring that. You didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to bring what we're supposed to bring
Mm.
to the table. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
All right. Okay. That's good. Now, what are some unreasonable and unrealistic expectations that single people have of each other?
Uh-huh. I think the checks off everything or checks off every box, like belief, like I need someone who checks all the boxes. That's not a good way to go into the dating scene, I think, because you're limiting, I think, God. In that way, you're telling God who you need, and God really ultimately knows who you need. Um, and also expecting someone to be all put together, like kind of how I was saying with the finances. Like, you don't have to have it all together, but at least be on the growth track, knowing that you have, there's work. And like, I don't expect someone to be perfect. We're all broken. we are we
Right.
all have different levels of trauma, but for them to be able or be willing to do the work and to grow, and I think it's unreasonable to expect someone to be fully put together.
Unreasonable to expect someone to be fully put together.
Yeah, we're all.
Did y'all hear
One
that?
of my favorite people said, "We're all a little crazy. Just find the crazy you can live with for the rest of your life."
Oh, Inspire, did you hear that? She said we all a little crazy.
Oh, I can't take credit for that, but
she said somebody else said, yeah, you got to be bold enough to say that, just take credit. But yeah, we all a little crazy. Just find the least crazy, the crazy that you can deal with.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy that you can deal with. That's good. That's good. But we definitely are all imperfect beings. That, and I like to for myself, make what I call constant progression. Right? So I want to make sure that I'm connected with someone who also realize consistent progression is a goal, right? For both of us, and not just for me, because then, like you were saying earlier, I'm gonna be going up here progressing, and I'm progressing away from you. You cool. You cool right where you at. I done with this conference, this book, evolve to this level and this level, whatever you got. But I go ahead on. But you don't know when I go ahead on, I'm up here, I'm like,
I need you to graduate a little bit. Come on.
Breathing different air. Yeah, you gotta graduate. I need to see some progress. And understand that when you are in a relationship, that there has to be progress, and then on the other hand, someone who feels like they don't feel like progressing no more, or feel like they are the bomb and there's nothing else to them, there's a problem.
Yep. That's one of my red flags for sure.
Houston,
that's
have
pride.
a problem.
And can't do pride.
It is pride. That's right. Can't do pride. Pride is right before the fall of man. So, what are some turn-offs that you see? Everybody, a lot of people say they want somebody, they want to date, they want to mate, and they don't realize that certain things are turn-offs. What are some turn-offs?
Are we talking about like pet peeves, or are we talking about qualities?
Well, see, the thing about it is that what is important to somebody may not be to someone else. And a lot of times people just need to hear that these are some things, and this is all from your perspective, right? And so you hear these different perspectives, and you may be echoing somebody that they hear or somebody that they meet. So it could be pet peeves, it could be anything, but it's a turnoff.
Yeah. Well, one that immediately comes to mind is treating anyone that serves you, food or retail or anything, treating other people with disrespect. I just can't, like, even in friendships, like, that's unbearable to me. Not being kind to others, because everyone has value, and if you can't see the value in other people, that's just not good to me.
It's a turn-off.
Yeah, absolutely. A turn-off in relationships we did already touch on is the difference in values. I respect another person for having different values. Everyone has different values, but when it comes to, for example, like, I have been in a situation where someone didn't believe in the Trinity, and to me, like, that goes deep into, like, thinking about the future. Like, I need a man led by the Holy Spirit, and if you don't believe that we have the Holy Spirit in us, that's not gonna work, because who's leading you? Like, certain values, like, if the second I recognize that they just don't meet up, I'm like, I'm immediately not attracted. And that casualness, the wanting to just hang out and have like someone to hang out, like, have company. I'm not your friend. That's not attractive to me. So
yeah. That's good. I like that. Yeah. I think many times that we are so caught up into ourselves, right, that we don't realize or consider someone else, or even. And I also think that things that are turnoffs, I think somebody probably done told you that along the way. You know, somebody probably could have been your buddy, your mama, somebody done told them you something about that thing, right? That you're doing, and you just still doing it until, and sometimes there's some people who are friends with people and they just don't even know how to tell them. They won't tell them, So this platform, once again, when you're able to hear people able to hear these different things, that somebody that's seen as a turnoff. Somebody could be interested in you. One thing you said about the restaurant, so many people have said that on this platform. That one thing, that's the other thing that a lot of people have said. And you're thinking while you're on a date that I gotta tell them this, or you feel like because you balling tonight and you can afford a meal tonight, afford a meal tonight, and they got that wrong. Hey, you need to get that right. No, but you need to help, whatever. And they don't realize that the other person is looking at you. And they're seeing your character. You need to know that's a turn off. They're watching you while you did. You can come back and be all nice and whatever with them. They can't get out of their mind what they just saw, how they saw you treat that waiter or that waitress. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good. That's good. Good turn. All right, we down to the last one. Oh, this is good. I love it. So, self-aware. We've talked about it all night long. How important? Why is it important for a person to be self-aware before even pursuing another relationship or a relationship?
It is vital. It's absolutely vital. Because if there's no self-awareness, I think we've touched on this also, there's no growth. If you can't hear about yourself, then you're not gonna fix anything about yourself. And that's a no-no. Really. And I don't think everything, like the vulnerability and the self-awareness, I don't think that has to be immediate. Don't just put everything out on the table at once. Do it appropriately as the relationship goes. But I think the more serious it gets and the more intentional it gets, the more you need to be able to have that self-awareness and tell that person, be able to be vulnerable with that person. Definitely.
You're pretty much saying you're already self-aware, but before you are transparent with it, vulnerable and transparent with it, make sure and give it some time.
Yeah. Not everything. Don't tell the person I cheated on someone on the first date. You need to have some trust to allow that person to give you some grace to talk about what happened. And because you just tell someone that in the beginning and be like, oh, okay, that's obviously going to happen again. So
too much too soon.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing a whole skit. I'm gonna write a skit to this. Gonna be promote the show, but I'm gonna do a skit to this. I don't want to be forgetting later. The skit is gonna be titled "Too Much Too Soon," and I'm just have this person on a date, and they're gonna just be going on. Well, let's put it all out here. I did cheat. I cheat on right, whatever that. I do take. I take 2 pills a day. Hold on, I'm like, no, go through all this.
I talk to my mama this many times a day. I call blah blah blah.
Yeah. Can't drink too much milk. I get the bubble gut, whatever that,
Now I will say I have learned this from experience. I don't give out extremely deep stuff, but sometimes as I'm talking in my mind, I'm like, stop. They don't need to know this on the first date.
It's good. I know I've had to do that myself too. And then other times I regret it. Why did I share that?
You're laying in bed after the date, oh gosh, oh no.
That's why they say it's good to ask questions of them. Let them talk about themselves.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I think before you actually officially move, I think you can be one. Well, we need to do this skit together, and
Yeah.
I'll probably have two other persons to do it with us.
Uh-huh.
But before you move out of Atlanta, I want you to be a part of this skit.
Okay.
You are a creative. I got it from where I'm talking to you. I'm loving it. Yeah, we're gonna have fun with this one. So
Okay.
when y'all see this skit um that has a message to it by itself, but it will also promote the show, when it started right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's very important to be self-aware. And someone else has said it before, that you need to be real mindful as to when you start sharing, become vulnerable enough and share what you are aware of about yourself. And I think that can be on the things you're working on, as well as the wonderful things, because sometimes somebody could play on that. These wonderful things about that you are aware about yourself, right? And then other things that could try to manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
How self-aware are you? I always do this to all my guests. Name two wonderful things about Misha. And then I want you to name I did this Sunday. Then I want you to name two things about Misha that you're working on.
Okay. It's so crazy that the second is way easier than the first. I'll start with the second. Things I'm working on is being able to recognize my faults in relationships and not making it all about me when there's conflict. Is how did that person hurt me? How that withdrawing and being like, oh, where were my faults? God, please hold the mirror up so I can at least be humble enough to recognize my wrongdoings. So growing in my humility in that area is what I'm definitely working on. And my stewarding finances. That is my this season, definitely. Sometimes God takes things away so you can get used to not having them and learning a lesson. Finances are a little dry right now because I've been dumb in the past. So he's teaching me how to steward with little so that later I can steward with much. So
Awesome. Okay, so you have made mention of this a couple of times, and you actually used the word "dumb" with finances, and they do have a book called "Something for Dummies" or whatever. So that's not necessarily a bad word, I guess, to use and from that aspect. What is it called? Something for Dummies. But it's a book. I can see the book now. I just can't think of the whole name.
mm-hmm.
The what does that look like? How have you been that way for somebody who may be that way now, and they see that
Mm-hmm.
you've now evolved into a place of at least recognizing that about yourself, and they don't even recognize that yet about themselves? How have you been dumb, and how has it affected you from finances?
So I'm 29. The whole first, since I didn't have an allowance or anything growing up, so I didn't have any lessons in saving money and being fiscally responsible. So the second I joined the military, I had this paycheck and I didn't have all these bills. So I was like, whoa, go spend it. And that went on for until like 2 years ago when I was like, where's all my money? I would I wouldn't really spend my money on big things.
Mm-hmm.
I spent it on little things, but many times.
A lot of it.
That built up. And so now I'm like, it has affected me in the sense of like even like living in Atlanta, it's expensive to live alone. And if I had been smarter with my money before, I would have a lot saved up. So the rent wouldn't be as much of a concern. But right now I'm in a season of the smartest thing for me to do in order to save my money was to move in with my parents. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the consequences of my past actions. And where God is working on me right now is I have a job. when I get paid, my flesh wants me, hey, you got money. Let's go get a pair of pants or something. Now I'm like, no, you don't need them. So yeah, just learning to be smart with my money, because I definitely didn't used to be.
Yeah. That's real. That's real. And learning to budget and everything. And that's something that many of us, and I hate to say it, but in your average, from what I've observed, in your average Black home, right, have not been educated well on that, you know. And the mom and dad took care of bills and stuff. You know, you probably saw them doing something or whatever, and you know, but not going over it with you.
Yeah.
And because it probably wasn't done with them. So they fell into what was given to them. As they grew up, they knew now they have bills, and they probably had their little errors and everything. Now, you know, I can say, you know, mom and dad, you know, gave me some nuggets, taught me some nuggets and everything. But I remember early wanting to have my own bank account. I remember this guy, 35 years old, the other night calling on Kendra G show. I watched Kendra G show. And actually this is just one of the reasons. There are several reasons this platform has been created. One of the reasons has been for those people who call in Kendra G show. I'm like, are these people for real? These people are not, are you serious? They don't know, you know. And it's like, people need this kind of stuff. These questions, this conversation. They need these nuggets, these keys, you know, because I was hearing people who didn't have keys, didn't have nuggets, and you would think, no, this is not a real caller, but yes, it is. You know, at 35 years old, didn't have a bank account at all. He was using his Cash App card, and that was his bank right there, his Cash App card.
Yeah.
And Kendra said, you need to find you a woman who will help you get a bank account, you know. And so just those things, making sure. I know my dad would always say, make sure you if your bills are covered and everything, you don't have nothing left in your pocket, you're good, because you know you're taking care of all your responsibilities, you know. So certain nuggets and everything was dropped that I still hold on to. But yeah, having those lessons drilled into us, and even school. There used to be a time in school they used to deal with economics and stuff, right?
They don't anymore.
They don't anymore. You know, value things that you can use in life, you know. Yeah, so that's really big for you to be able to acknowledge that. I do know there is in here in Atlanta, you may mention that there are a lot of people who have what they call pod houses. They rooming, like a big house with 6 rooms, and some of them have a room in the bathroom. And I know someone who's been a guest on here. As a matter of fact, they have a room. It's like 5 or 6 of them, 6 females in one big house.
Yeah.
And she paid like $500 a month, and that covers everything.
Nice, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so that makes it, and those, they have been there for like years, all of them, right? They found something that worked for them. And you just said, you know, yeah, doing it alone is what you've been trying to do, and you've been having it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top of the fact that you love to just spend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I moved to Atlanta last June. So like a year and 2 months, 3 months ago. And I was just a college student, making college money. And I moved here like, boom, I'm going to get my finances in order. I'm going to save well. I still went back into old patterns. I mean, I was better. I gave myself grace and recognizing you're not as bad as you used to do, but there's still work. And there's still work today, because I still, every now and then I'll buy something. I'm like, you didn't need this.
Yeah.
So
you know,
it's work.
Yeah. And I think it's important to just budget it in, right? Meaning that that's a part of your nature need, right? To award yourself, you know. You know, maybe you have one day out of the month, you know, that one check, you know, this check here, I'm going to do something for myself, or for this amount here, I'm going to put aside to treat myself, you know. And so budgeting yourself like that treats yourself for your hard work, but at the same time, it doesn't, you don't trip yourself.
Yeah, you're not starving yourself from not
enjoying your labor.
Yeah,
enjoying life and enjoying your labor. But it's all about budgeting it, you know. And if you went over it a little bit, it's cool because you got a mindset of budgeting. You know, okay, I went over a little bit, so you know, and to what you're saying is so important. And these are things to take care of in your singleness, in your single place. Before you get with somebody who will be like, wait a minute, no, what you did? Because I was with somebody. And I look back at the bank account like, what happened? What happened? Now we can go to the bank. Well, let's drive to the bank because I want to know what happened. Drove it to the bank. I said, come on, let's go in here because if they did you, they told me this. You telling me something now. Now, I don't check with the bank. They showed me this. They wrong. Okay, let's go to the bank. Roll all the way to the bank. Got to the bank. I'm like, okay, no. I want to know why they treat you like this. You know, I'm going right along with that. I was saying, why they doing this to you? Whatever like that. Got to the bank. I got out. I said, getting out. Now, you can go in there. Wait a minute. No, we going in. Come on. But I'm like, no, I'm like, are we serious? You going to sit in here? I went in the bank. And I'm like, so you gotta have that together.
Yeah.
Before you get together.
For me too, like I didn't even have it in my marriage. The account, like there was no accountability because secular relationship, we had separate bank accounts, so I didn't even have accountability there either. So I definitely want this put together and healed, at least on a good track by the time I meet my future man, because I'm not trying to be done with finances in a relationship. So
get you a book, get you a class, do something. What are you? Okay, that's your question. What are you going to do to work on what you got to work on to make better with you?
Actually, now that I have a steady paycheck coming in, she's going to help me put together a budget. That's my first step. I haven't thought of the next step yet. I was definitely thinking of, I've heard of Dave Ramsey. Those, I don't have debt to pay off. I am at least debt free, which is good. But just seeking more resources and knowledge from wise people in the financial realm. Yeah.
That's it. And definitely go to the wealth retreat, the next wealth retreat. That's held at Story Church. I love the wealth retreats at Story Church. I always leave pumped up.
Yeah, I need to go to the last one.
Yep. And then one of the good things about, you know, if you can't afford it, they'll take care of it for you. You know what I'm talking about? So I really applaud Apostle Sam for that mindset, that mind frame. You know, he's so much of that, and his desire is to empower others, you know. And so making it accessible to you to get to this mind frame, renewing the mind transforms the life, right?
Yes.
Okay, we got that covered. Now go and tell us the two wonderful things about me, Shay.
Well, all glory to God for both of them, because I think these are God-given traits for sure. Kindness, we have talked about this already. It's hard for me to even be strict or stern with someone, even when they've done me wrong. So sometimes I can be kind to a fault. But kindness definitely is a trait that I'm happy to have. And creative. I am learning more and more about myself. I'm more creative than I thought. I'm capable of more creatively than I thought. So,
wow.
Yeah. And that is something like learning to not have fake humility in that. Like when people are like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. You're like, oh no, it's nothing. Embracing it. Like, thank you. I appreciate that. And giving thanks to the Lord for giving me that gift.
Yeah. Don't just dismiss it, right? Acknowledge it, you know, and give God the glory for it. I'm always saying to God be the glory. That's really good. And make sure that you put on your calendar, save the date. I probably already told you this, but we're gonna have the reunion show with all the guests are coming back together in person. We're having a reunion networking mixer.
Okay.
Reunion show networking mixer. It's gonna be Saturday.
was like, that looks
Yeah.
fun.
Saturday, October the 21st.
Okay. I told you I may be out of town, but I will be keeping you updated.
And you may not. You may be right there. If it's something that you really want to do, what I want you to do, exactly what you really want to do. But if you are able to be there and that still get taken care of, that's going to be awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
It's going to be awesome. And, yeah. And Aspire is, she's going to be there. A lot of people are going to be able to meet her for the first time. That's going to be awesome. In itself, she is awesome when it comes to networking, when it comes to, having an entrepreneur's mind and just getting in with whoever, connecting and making things happen. So, and you're like that as well, and so I just want these people to come together, all of us to come together. Hey, before we in your love language, what's your love language? You heard about the 5 love languages, right? Yep. What would you say is your top? How self-aware are you? What's your top love language?
I have the one that I've always said, but let me run through real quick to make sure I still believe that's it.
And see, and the thing about love language, everybody, is that it's important that you know what your love language is, because while you're single, because when you connect with someone, you can't just be expecting, I'm going to wait and see if they do this, wait and see if they do that. No, let them know what your love language is. And then you can see if they honor you, value you enough to speak your love language. Not guess your love language, speak your love language.
I think it used to be.
Wait a minute, what you said, dog? Oh, I thought.
Can you hear her?
I heard her. She was trying to tell what her love language was.
That window in the backyard.
Yeah. She was telling us what her love language is. Okay, go ahead.
I think I used to say physical touch and quality time. The physical touch, now that I am convicted in not being physical until my wedding night, I don't think that's it anymore, because I think there's more to it than that. I do think it is quality time now. The intentionality of spending time together and just being together.
So you sum physical touch into being sexual and sexual? I
think that's a hard question, because I think I'm still getting over one of my the sins that the enemy likes to tempt me with is lust. That is something that I'm still up here working, like praying for God to help me work on. So right now I'm I have an aversion to physical touch. Like, let's not bring that in right now, because I need to focus on all the other aspects of the relationship.
So he can't hug you?
He can hug me. He can hug me. I guess I wasn't really thinking of holding hands and hugging. So that tells you how much lust is in my mind.
Yeah, boy, you know, went already done. Bam. Okay, wait, boomerang, bam, bam, bam. Well, okay, no, we not. Hey, that's not physical touch, y'all. Okay.
So actually, okay, thinking about holding hands and hugging, it's not as important to me as quality time. So I would say definitely. What I was thinking more of physical touch is like snuggling. I actually wasn't thinking more of the sexual stuff, but snuggling for me probably would be a little too much right now. Yeah.
Much. Okay. See, that's being self-aware, so man, so he's going to have to not snuggle
just for a little bit till I'm sure I'm good.
Okay. Till sure you good. Okay.
So I'm sure also that I trust him to respect my boundaries once I let those boundaries down, to keep respecting the other ones.
All right. Okay. So can he kiss you?
We'll see.
Okay.
Like I said, this is all very new to me. So I'm still learning what my boundaries are. So.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good. That's so real. And especially from a female aspect, because and your consciousness of it, and being mindful of what kind of guy that the guy has to be, has to respect this. This is new to me. I want to walk this way. I want to be this way. So if you can't even show me from the beginning that you can respect and help me in this way, we can't.
Yeah. Like if I were to allow the kissing, but the kissing made him try to push the boundaries, then I would have to take that off the table. If we're able to kiss and it not get heated up, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, because kiss can get
heated up. I can't do it if it gets heated up.
A good kiss gets heated up. I'm telling you. Whatever. And don't be kissing while you're snuggling. Oh no. Yeah. That's real. That's real talk.
Yeah, I've done the thing where the rule was only kissing lateral. But even that can get steamy. So yeah, there needs to be communicated boundaries for sure.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that when it's somebody that you have chemistry with, it don't take much.
Yeah.
You know, if you have chemistry with the person, you're already feeling the person, just their voice on the phone, you talking, right? You're already feeling some kind of way. So now, if you feel them this way, so you in person, you know, and the snuggling and the kissing, and see, that's a good conversation, and those could be things that you would probably need to write down. You know, kissing. French kissing, lip kissing, okay, snuggling, kissing, kissing on the cheek, kiss on forehead, okay, that's all couple kissing, you know, and then snuggling.
I think that's honoring each other. That's loving, like knowing I'm serious about this period, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I don't want to make myself uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Let me tell you. That's why with these houses, people purchase houses. They got all these documents, all these papers, right? Cars and everything. Have all these papers trying to get a clear understanding before you sign the dotted line. And we don't do it with relationships, but we do it with everything else.
Have you ever watched Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
We need a relationship agreement.
I was watching it earlier. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Yes.
It's so funny. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but and it seems trivial to some people, even talking about it seems trivial because you hadn't had this conversation. But then these are the very same things that have messed single people up and have corrupted some marriages and stuff, right? Because these, what you call trivial things, you know, have not been discussed, you know, and that's how some people end up pregnant before they intended to. Because I wanted to wait. But remember that night but I thought you were, but I told you I wanted to wait, you know. And now somebody's to blame, and then that regret is seated into that relationship, all kind of stuff. Have the talk, communicate. Don't think anything is too trivial or too minute to discuss.
Yes. Cover all bases.
Cover all bases. Yeah. Do that. If you're a guy, you know you don't want no woman with no weave or no wig. Let her know I need this natural. You know, just go ahead and say it. You know, and she'll be like, "Listen here, I'm Regine. Look here, I'm gonna have a wig on every day, whatever."
I've already decided. I have this nose ring, and I have already decided that if a man doesn't like it, I will take it out on the wedding day. The second you make that forever commitment, I will take it out for you.
What? Nose ring got to go.
I know not everyone likes it.
Right. Yeah, but it don't go till you say I do. Like that, you know. I'm loving it till you put a ring on it. Hey, this ring go when you put a ring right here.
Rings.
Yeah. I'm loving it, and that's the thing, right? Is being able to understand. I mean, just like I said, just discuss it all. Have talk. You know, if it comes to your mind, let it come out your mouth. Have the talk. Don't just be wondering in your head. That's not a good relationship when you're just wondering things in your head and assuming things as opposed to just discussing things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
Yeah, I love it. Listen here. Michelle, we did it. This has been awesome.
I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. Having you here, this has really been good. I know it's been good for somebody, man. I'm telling you, it's been good for me, first of all. But I know you dropped some good stuff here. And thank you for being transparent and just sharing. Because that's the thing about it is that we believers, we understand that people overcome through the sharing of our testimonies, right? Through our stories, you know. And so what is it for me to have experiences and gain wisdom if I'm not going to impart it? I'm now be shamed, you know, whatever. Listen, hey, this is what was up, you know. So even this platform is helping me to even be more vulnerable with that and sharing whatever, because it's constantly being seeded into me, and I understand we are sharpening each other with what we're sharing, you know. So this has been really, really good, really good. Any last words you want to say?
No, just trust God with your relationships, guys. Even if you're not a believer, at least consider it. He knows the way. He is the best foundation for any relationship, and yeah, just go all in faith, and he'll bring you there.
I love it. I love it. That's good. That's good. That's good. Listen, to all of you who've been listening and watching, I thank you. I appreciate you. Please share. But first of all, please subscribe. And guess what? We're growing on this end. We're going to do some big things. God is doing big things with this platform, with this movement, and the best is yet to come. So if you want to get on in and help us by donating on any amount, you can do that by way of Zelle or Cash App. 404-901-8591. In addition to that, if you would like to be a guest, you got some nuggets you want to drop, you can share some things, let us know. 404-901-8591, and just type the words special guest. We will contact you so that you can come on in and you know, hey, do what you do, drop your knowledge as well. But please continue to spread the word. As we say to all of you every time we get ready to leave, I'm going to say it again, these same famous 9 words, which is going to bring power to your life as you evolve. And it's simple as this: be intentional about creating a better life for yourself. We're out of here. God bless you. Thank you, Mish.
Absolutely.
Bless you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you.